Welcome to Beyond the Bio, where we discover more about the real estate agent beyond what you see online. Hey, Ralph.
Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Good. Ralph, let's start from the beginning. What inspired you to become a realtor, first in Pennsylvania, and then continue this path here in Florida?
Okay. Well, I was a realtor in Pennsylvania many moons ago. Way before not way, I'm not quite that old, but before the actual MLS was on computer, where you had to go get books, and current listings consisted of a picture on the office wall where people would come in, see many vacation houses and paneling, and decide from there.
Wow, how long ago was that?
I don't know, I think it was still black and white.
So I've done a little digging online and in various sources. So I've seen some information about you online, and in some of the bios and material, you've mentioned the importance of timing in real estate, a perspective that differentiates you from many in the industry. Could you share an instance when timing played a crucial role in a deal you brokered?
There's been a lot of instances of being at the right place at the right time. One of my favorite is I had happened to meet this one gentleman, and it turned out to be probably one of my largest sales of over 10 acres, and they become really good friends of mine. And the whole reason they went with me is because they liked my personality, and I had the time to spend with them and sit down, and actually was very cognizant of their time also.
That's really great and really incredible, and a great explanation of how not just timing of right time, right place, and timing of contracts, but also your timing and availability. That's really great. Can you share your most memorable experience during Hurricanes Francis and Jean, especially considering you had just moved to Florida? How has that experience shaped your perspective of living in the Sunshine State?
All right. Well, I was one of the lucky ones to be able to move to Florida right before Francis and Jean. In fact, before the storms hit, I had just gotten my Florida license. Now, when I moved down here, we were renting and we were looking for a home. Hurricane hits, we're going to look at homes, and there's furniture in the pool. It's like, what is going on? So, fast forward a little bit, storms hit. We lose the roof of our rental. Between the two storms, I moved from one house to another by myself, making really good friends along the way because my friends sat there in the driveway wondering who's this crazy man putting a couch on a tarp and dragging it into a house. It turns out that I actually ended up buying that house because it was such a good location, and we really do love Florida. And you know what? I will take a hurricane versus a snowstorm any day.
So did you, as a real estate agent, did you have a lot of knowledge about policies and storm preparation and things like that regarding hurricanes?
When I first moved here, nope.
So I bet seeing all that furniture in swimming pools was quite a shock.
It was. I'm like, it's very difficult to swim when there's a lawn chair in there. And you know, the funny thing is, when we were getting prepped, I'm like, okay, Port St. Lucie was the safest place out there. They weren't hit for hurricane for 30 years. So I'm headed to the gym one morning, and I see a line outside of Home Depot of people getting plywood. So I just whip in. 8 hours later, I'm still standing in this line trying to get plywood and thinking to myself, you people live here. Why aren't you prepared?
That's really funny. Being so deeply rooted in the Treasure Coast community, you seem to have developed a love for its vibrant culture and lifestyle, which I would say kind of explains a bit of your personality as well. Could you describe what an ideal day in the Treasure Coast looks like for you?
Oh, the beach, of course. Going to the beach, having drinks at the beach, having dinner at the beach, just the whole nice Jeep ride with the top down, enjoying the sun, taking a ride down A1A, probably to Jensen Beach to grab lunch, just to turn around and come back, because burning gas is what we do. Anything outdoors, anything in the sun, just spending time with my wife, being able to enjoy a nice dinner, or even a casual dinner, whether we're at the beach or not, is a very beneficial thing.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you're pretty active, and from what I've gathered online, it also seems like you're very active and involved in the community. As an active member of the Treasure Coast Jeep Club, could you share how this involvement has benefited you both personally and professionally? Are there some interesting anecdotes or stories about the club you'd like to share?
The club in itself has been one of the greatest things that could happen to me. My wife and I were presidents for 2 years in a row. And the funny thing is, I joined the club by my wife telling me, go to this meeting. Well, it was right after the hurricane, so restaurants didn't have power. So basically, I sat there at the bar trying to avoid people, and I may have had a little bit too much to drink when the current club president at that time said, oh, we have a new member, and hands me a microphone. And I slurred my way through it. Those people are instant friends. The involvement that I've been lucky enough to deal with TCJC has been incredible. Veterans, Christmas, watching kids get gifts, going to buy 22 bicycles on Christmas, and you have 4 or 5 Jeeps and a pickup truck lined outside, and you have bikes strapped to the top, and people are going, what are you doing with them? And I make jokes, well, I have a lot of kids. It's like just to see the fun in people's eyes. And even during COVID, we were actually getting calls, emails to do drive-bys. So we did drive-bys for people having birthdays. We did drive-bys for hospitals where we just sat there, drove by, blew our horns, everything. We even did a drive-by for my father-in-law. It was his, something 80th birthday. Mm-hmm. So we all met at Winn-Dixie when you weren't supposed to assemble, but we were all in our Jeep, so we were 6 feet apart, and somebody called the cops on us.
Oh, wow.
So now the cops get called, 2 cruisers roll in, and they're like, well, something's going on. And somebody's like, well, who's in charge? Of course, my friends all pointed to me. I'm like, awesome. So they asked me, I told them, they're like, hey, do you mind if we give you an escort? Sirens going, blocking lights. I'm trying to get a hold of my wife, Julie, say, you're going to hear cops coming. That's us. And she's like, what? I'm like, forget it. And I hung up. Next thing you know, we turn the corner, cruisers come by. We picked up 3 cruisers, and I think we picked another 3 Jeeps, so we had like 15 Jeeps just go through Millstone South as my father-in-law sat there, just gleaming.
Oh, what a great story. I have goosebumps.
So
That's really a great story, and sounds like the Jeep Club has not only allowed you to meet new people and create lifelong friendships and relationships, but also helps you to continue your community spirit and be involved in the community. Those drive-bys, is that something that somebody could apply for or request of the club?
Usually what would happen is an email would get sent to, I think it's info@treasurecoastjeepclub.com, and then we would, the president and the board would review it. Generally, if it's doable, we see who wants to do it, and usually there's a good turnout for it.
That's really incredible and really great that you do that and have that experience. It seems like you're very active and you really enjoy the outdoors. How do your hobbies like kayaking and weightlifting and the Jeep Club influence your work as a realtor?
Well, weightlifting I love to do. I'm one of those crazy...
I can see that.
Wreck-It Ralph, Residential Ralph, I like to practice what I preach. But the one thing I do know is that it enables me to get my head on right, to be able to do something that I don't want to do. Because believe it or not, I don't always want to do this stupid exercise. But when you don't have to think about it and your body just does it, that same thing can hold true to making that phone call, following up with something, doing a drive-by or a video for somebody.
Right.
So it all plays hand in hand. Kayaking, that's sheer pleasure.
Right.
That's just me taking off into the ocean looking for sharks.
Okay. Well, kayaking, I guess, has a certain level of skill needed as well, and probably gives you a little bit a sense of stress relief or...
It's a little salt therapy.
There you go. I love it. Back to what you were saying earlier and enjoying things at the beach and being outside. So I love that. On Tuesdays, I have also seen that you're very active on social media, and I love that you do that. On Tuesdays, you host a little video reel called Just a Tip Tuesday, offering advice on buying and selling real estate. Could you share a particularly impactful tip that our viewers might find really helpful?
Yeah, actually I can. This is pretty funny because I have a client that we just went under contract for their house, and Just Tip Tuesday is literally like 15 seconds, because you don't want to do, everything doesn't have to be this long drawn out dramatic thing. It's like, bang, get in, just like Zorro, get in, make your Z, get out.
Right.
You know, so what happened was I get a text from the listing agent saying, were your clients at the house? And I'm like, no, they wouldn't go to the house, they're under contract. Yet they were at the house walking around. So now I get to call them and say, hey, you really can't do this because it's kind of trespassing.
Okay.
So I did just a tip saying, hey, I know you're excited about this and that, but do not go to the house without your realtor, without making arrangements, because you are trespassing, and there's thousands of cameras and neighbors out nowadays.
Right. So your client had placed an offer on the property and was so excited about closing but hadn't yet done that, and just wanted to go walk the property and see things, and they hadn't made.
They want to show the parents and the daughter, this is where we're going to be moving, and they didn't even look in the windows. I mean, they stayed on the outer perimeter, but
right.
When there's cameras, there's cameras.
Well, and you don't want to scare people into thinking that somebody's scoping out the place, or
especially when the house is vacant. I mean, it turned out really good. The seller is very happy that the buyer's excited, and the agent he had a good chuckle. I had a good chuckle. I even told them that I made the video, and they started laughing. They're like, we didn't think of that. And I'm like, no.
That's really great advice. Okay, something that is very near and dear to my heart that I also found out that you do. You work in the nonprofit space as well, and you currently do some work with Halo No-Kill Rescue in Sebastian. What motivated you to get involved, and can you share a heartwarming story from your time there?
So many heartwarming stories from my time. Every time I go there, it's another special event. I am a sap. I love dogs. We have 2 rescues. My other dogs are rescues. So there's a special place in my heart for rescues. So actually my wife suggested, maybe getting together with them. And I started doing it, and it turned out to be very successful. Not for the real estate, but to get the dogs out. It wasn't me trying to self-promote. It was me trying to get the word out about these dogs. Hardest part about Halo is not taking every dog home. I've been tugged on, kissed, slobbered on, almost bulldozed by Dozer, which was one of my favorites, to the point of I get comments, it's not a Friday until I see Ralph get attacked by a dog on video.
That's really great. So you go there and do meet and greets with adoptable dogs, and then you share those videos and those stories online to promote rescue and adoption for animals that
Correct.
are at Halo. That's really great that you do that. Is there any one story in particular that kind of stands out in your mind that you have maybe done recently?
Major was a very special dog, pit mix, and he was very loving, he was very playful, and there was no reason. He was also a long term there, and he had just recently got adopted. Also, there was another one when I first did, named Hazel, and she had back hip problems. So she had problems walking, but that dog had a spirit and a half. She got adopted. So I'm seeing these dogs get adopted, and it's just like awesome. Because every dog needs a forever home, and all the fur babies are awesome.
Yeah. So tell me about the staff at Halo. How do you like working with them? How do you think that impacts your real estate profession?
Working with staff at Halo, I've learned one thing. They are literally very protective of their dogs. Any dog that goes into that facility, and cats, any animal that's there, it is a part of their world. And that's the funny thing, because I had to win over this one trainer who is always very stern and everything. He's like, well, why are you doing this? But they could feel the energy coming off of me. And these dogs, they would give them to me, and it would be like, their switch would turn on, they'd be jumping all over me, and the people would be scared. I'm like, I'm having a blast, covered in dog hair and slobber. They really do care about both their dogs, and in the cat facility, they care about their cats. They go above and beyond to make sure all the dogs are taken care of, including the interview process before you just can't go there and walk out with a dog. Right. There's a whole process and socialization to make sure that everything's the right fit.
Awesome. So it essentially, it sounds like the relationship there is much like your relationship with your clients and your customers. You really care, you take the time, and you're very protective of your clients and their interests. I love that. I love that.
Whether you're buying a home, selling a home, we have to be the right fit so that we can work together and have a successful deal.
Ralph, you are truly a really amazing professional.
Thank you.
Don't laugh at that. I'm being serious. You've been creating videos, engaging on social media, and even helping rescue dogs find homes. How has integrating these digital tools and charitable efforts affected your real estate business?
It is directly reflected. Going into the whole video world was so far out of my comfort level. Now I go places, I'm recognized. There's a gentleman at Sam's Club, and he first saw me. He's like, "Why do I know you?" He's like, "You're the real estate video dude." And there's just so many people that you see people, they turn and they see you. There's new people liking your stuff all the time, and like, "Hey, it's a great idea." Then you get a contact from them, or somebody. If I'm out and about at dinner at a restaurant, like, "Why do I know you? Why do I know you?" I mean, granted, I know I blend into a crowd. So
I find that a little hard to believe.
It's a big crowd, but I can blend. So even recognizing, going beyond my comfort zone, and my videos aren't perfect. Mm-hmm. It's me. There's a lot of bloopers. Because I'm just a person. Even when I'm calling people for the first time, if they're on my website or something, my first thing is, "Hey, I wanted to introduce myself, let you know you're not speaking to a robot." And they usually laugh and like, "Wow, you are a human being."
I love that. I love that. So your personality, it sounds like, shows through not just your videos, but through your phone calls and your initial contact with people. I really like that.
It's because I absolutely love what I do.
That is really, really tremendous. So on to some other things that are also really special for me. I come from a military family, and you are a very strong supporter of our military. Could you talk about your Red Friday initiative and what sparked the idea for this, and what kind of response have you really received so far?
The Red on Fridays, I forget exactly how I learned about it, but it really hit me hard. It's just a simple phrase: remember everyone deployed. It's a simple gesture. The military does so much for us, and you should always just do what you can. So I started wearing red. So now I have everybody at the office terrorized. I don't know if terror is right.
That's probably not the right phrasing.
Motivated to wear red on Fridays. And it's funny, I walk in and everybody's like, "I got red. Wait, this is a shade of red. I did wash last night. I bought a new red shirt." So it's really, quite fun. We do have a lot of fun, but it has a very strong meaning. And the funny thing is, a lot of people thought that I made it up, but then when they look it up, because it's online, they're like, "Holy cow." And now it's going on more and more and more. My wife does it at her office. Her people do it. Her partners wear red. Mm-hmm. So it's something that we all should be doing.
Right.
It's a simple gesture. It's a red shirt.
Right.
Buy a red shirt. Get a bandana. Something red.
Right. I love that. I love that. And I also love that you incorporate it into everything that you do. All of your marketing, you remind people that about the initiative. And you also have a Heroes program in real estate, do you not?
Yes, Heroes on the Move. This is where I would help a veteran find a house, and I actually give back. Dale Sorensen also gives back part of our commission to help support that veteran. It's an incredible program. I've helped a lot of people with it, and it's easy to qualify. All you have to do is be a veteran, and then I can help you get pre-qualified for a VA loan and everything else, and it really works smooth. And it's a nice gift to be able to give back at the end.
And that HEROES program extends to not just veterans, but also first responders,
nurses, I believe, teachers, and firefighters. Yes.
Okay, I love that. I love that you and Dale Sorensen does that. That's really, really terrific. Could you, speaking of Dale Sorensen, could you share with us the story behind your decision to join Dale Sorensen Real Estate? What was it that set this company apart from others for your consideration?
That's easy. 2 words. Jim Goldsmith. First off, I had just got my license. I interviewed with a lot of places. I was going to go with one because they were very good. I was able to get an interview thanks to a good friend of mine with Jim.
Okay.
Met him, and I think I signed up that day. And funny thing is, I have a timeshare at Waldo's, and I was planning on taking a week and doing everything. Well, I signed up with DSRE, with Jim, and I was busy that entire week getting, trained and, everything. It was the training that he had mentioned. It was his demeanor, his everything that just gave me a good feeling. And that feeling has been true because I absolutely love where I work, especially this office. The energy is intense.
How long have you been in this particular office now with Dale Sorensen?
A little bit over 5 years.
Really amazing. So you've spoken highly of Jim Goldsmith and his guidance.
Don't tell him, please.
Well, unfortunately, this is going to be for all the world to see.
I can still deny it. I'm actually an AI, so I'm not actually standing in front of you.
Can you share a little story or anecdote that encapsulates his influence on your career path and your growth at Dale Sorensen?
Oh, that's easy. He works hard to figure out how to get under your skin. Not by negative reinforcement, but he tries to do it by your hobbies, your interests, and everything. So he used weightlifting against me. He's like, oh, you can only lift 200 pounds? That's good if that's all you can handle. That ain't no bueno with me. That's no bueno. Because that's just not going to happen. So it pushes me to go heavier.
You have a competitive nature, so... Just a tiny bit.
I don't like settling, so 200, 250, same thing. It's just a little more.
So that translates into real estate. So speaking more about the mentorship and the company's culture, in the world of real estate, a company's culture and values can greatly influence an agent's success. How would you describe the culture at Dale Sorensen Real Estate, and how does it resonate with your approach to business?
I'm going to say I can describe the culture as like family friendly. We're talking about the original owners, Dale Sr., Matilda, Dale Jr.'s marketing, Elizabeth. The whole family's there. I can pick up the phone and I know I can call Dale Jr. or Dale Sr. at any point in time. After, of course, I bother Jim Goldsmith first because I'm not going, straight up. But it's the way I like to run my business. I like to have friends. I like to retain my clients as friends, and so far I have been able to do that because I like the family-friendly atmosphere. I like the energy. I like the push to better yourself, which is a huge thing because you don't want to go to somewhere that it's like, okay, well, here's your desk. That's it.
Right.
Without the motivation, it's not going to work. So their culture here is what's really pushing me.
Awesome. So it sounds like the accessibility, the support and encouragement is also the same kinds of things that you offer to your clients and customers in your own business.
Correct.
And that's really, really terrific.
And even the values, like I do all sorts of volunteering for and stuff for veterans. They're hugely involved in the community, which again gets me more involved. Beach cleanups. I did a kayak race one time. So many different things that are you see DSRE all over the place for a reason. They're involved.
I love that. Dale Sorensen Real Estate places a lot of emphasis on training and agent support. Could you talk about a training or mentorship moment that really stuck with you and has impacted your approach to real estate?
The support staff here, by far, is probably the most amazing people you can ever deal with. Everything from admin support to office manager to the marketing department. I mean, literally, I can get anything that I need just by sending an email. And it's always correct, or if I want to change it, it's easily done because we do it all in-house. Having those tools at your hand, it really helps out. The admin staff, I don't have to be at my desk. If I need something done, I can make a phone call and it can happen. You know, just being able to reach out and have stuff done and knowing that there's people have your back is a huge thing.
That's really great. Sounds like DSRE is a really great place to hang your license or even work as support staff or marketing staff. How has being a part of DSRE helped you in your career? Can you share a time when the DSRE spirit was the most evident?
I'm going to say it's very evident on every single listing, because as soon as they know where you're from and they realize, oh wait, I've seen DSRE, I've seen him here, I've seen him there. Oh, we're involved in the community. Wait, I saw you here. I mean, I've done stuff, and DSRE's been a huge sponsorship and stuff that you see them, and that helps your business everywhere. I did a wine, women, and shoes, and DSRE was a sponsor, and I poured wine for people, but I had a big old logo on my back. So the brand recognition comes off to you. It rubs off on you because the company has such great reputation. And as long as you abide by the values that you set in yourself, have a good work ethic, it all holds true and keeps going forward.
I love that. So just a few more questions. The world of real estate is fast-paced and ever-changing. How has Dale Sorensen Real Estate supported you in staying ahead of industry trends, evolving buyer and seller expectations, technology, online marketing?
It'd be easier to say how it hasn't, because there is not one instance where they have not adapted, overcame, and moved forward. Having you brought on to handle Lisa Gal to help out and stuff has been huge. The marketing department always keeps going. Every Wednesday we have meetings, and Dale Jr. bringing up stuff. We've had seminars on AI. We've had that you've done personally. Everything changes. They keep up with the times. They have new things all the time. They stay up to date with all the current technology and the latest technology, and still have a paper insert because people still do like print too.
That's really great. I have, again, just a couple more questions.
You've said that already.
Thank you. As part of the Dale Sorensen Real Estate family, what are you most excited about for the future of the company and your role within it?
Oh, moving forward and keeping my goal of increasing sales and listings every year to keep that constant increase. It is a great business to be in. It is a lot of work. Don't kid yourself. You're not going to sit on your butt and do nothing. You have to do a lot of things that you don't like. You have to learn to like things that you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love doing the videos now. So I'm trying to figure out another way to get my face out there probably another day a week. Tuesdays and Fridays just aren't enough to see my lovely face. So
what you're saying is you're going to be creating a little bit more work for me to do as well. I love that.
Yes.
Okay. At the end of the day, what is your favorite aspect of being a realtor with DSRE? Your most favorite thing?
I don't know what the end of the day is. My phone goes off, I answer it.
Smarty pants.
That's just a fact of life. I mean, I did IT for 12 years and I worked 12-hour days. I can say that I probably work more now, but I enjoy it so much more.
So it doesn't seem like it's a long day. It doesn't seem like it's work. It's something that you enjoy doing.
Enjoy it thoroughly. You can adapt, overcome, adjust, and generally you don't get emails and stuff past 9 o'clock, but it happens. I'm a firm believer when I'm working with somebody, and I tell people this right up front. You text me past 9 o'clock, I'm going to answer you at 4 when I wake up. And some people called me on it, and they're like, "Oh boy, just wait till 8. That's fine. Unless it's really important, then not a problem." You
Right.
have a lot of time. You have downtime. You have busy time. It's just learning how to adjust that time, and that's with any part of real estate.
I see. Well, Ralph, I've really loved getting to know you a little bit more and learning some new things about you that I didn't know before. But I have one more question, and it's kind of really fun.
Oh boy.
And so I'm going to kind of ask everybody that I interview a very similar question. But if heaven exists,
Okay.
what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Boy, do I have a house for you to list.
That is funny. I love that. Thanks, Ralph. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with me and helping us to learn a little bit more about you, and hopefully allowing people to get to know you a little bit better and to see more of your personality and all the wonderful things that you're doing, not just in your business, but in real estate. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me, and it's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.